part of the Mercy Ships team here in Aotearoa, New Zealand, Sharon Walls, joining me in the studio. Sharon, kia ora, thank you so much for your time.
Oh, it's always good to see you, Andrew, and exciting to actually see you and talk to you. This is new for me, being in the studio with the cameras on.
It's nice to have you in the studio, and very much appreciate your time. For those that are just catching up, maybe they've even heard the ads on Rhema beforehand, but talk to us about Mercy Ships, broad brushstroke. What is the concept and what's involved with that?
Well, in Mercy Ships, we are passionate about making sure that people who are in the countries that have the lowest income in the world have access to essential surgery that just simply isn't possible in the normal course of life. You know, we have frustrations here in New Zealand when we have a long waiting time. We're waiting to see the doctor. You know, it's tragic and impacting when we have to wait a long time in emergency rooms in the hospital. But there is hope at the end of the line. And the nations that we are serving at the lowest end of the global poverty index, there just is no help at the end of the line. Country we're in at the moment, Senegal, you know, there's like 5 doctors for 8 million people. 5 surgeons, I should say. So, you know, we're doing what we can to not only meet immediate need with providing surgeries on our hospital ships, but also training and to build the surgical capacity of the nations that we're serving in. So helping the local community upskill to meet the needs within their own community. So, yeah, 2 hands, really.
In some ways, you guys are the hope. You are the hope that floats into town and provides training and surgery and just life transformation in that regard. And Mercy Ships, I mean, got a good pedigree, been around for quite a few years. I mean, do you keep running stats on that? How many, I mean, you'll know how many years it's been going, but how many surgeries, how many people's had their lives transformed through this ministry?
Yeah, we had a pause during COVID. But I'm pretty sure we're up to around 111,000 surgeries that have taken place. So we're talking major reconstructive surgeries like, you know, massive benign tumour removals, orthopaedic surgeries for kids, burns reconstruction. So they're not quick surgeries. We do cataract work, which is a quick fix actually, but also not accessible for a lot of people. And each one of those surgeries are utterly life transforming. I'm sure anybody that's listening would know somebody who's had a cataract operation. But if you don't have the operation, you become blind. And in developing nations, there's no buzzers on the pedestrian crossings. There's no safety equipment. Somebody has to be your full-time caregiver if you are blind. And often it's a child taken out of school. And so not only the cataract operation impacts that the person who can now see, but now this child can go back to school and have their own future. So the impact is absolutely multiplied. It's that old story of the stone being thrown into the pool and the ripples just go further and further.
And hey, speaking of multiplication, everything's gone times 2 now, because I mean, was this wonderful floating hospital ship, now 2 hospital ships, and I understand that the new ship that's just finished its first tour of duty in Senegal, that's correct?
Yeah, that's right. So the Africa Mercy has been, we've had a number of ships over the years, but Africa Mercy is in a little bit of a maintenance phase at the moment, and we deployed the Global Mercy into Senegal, and this ship is massive. It has a crew of 640 volunteers on board, 5 operating theatres, 200 patients at a time, and that particular ship has been built with the idea of having training capacity, and so there's a simulated operating theatre on board. So there's lecture theatres, there's all kinds of ways that we can come alongside the local nurses and doctors and biomedical technicians and just help them upskill in order to meet the needs in their own country more efficiently. And yeah, it's very, very exciting. So yeah, that vessel was in Senegal for 6 months. And we did about 800 surgeries during that time. It was a little bit of a shakedown tour, about 20 Kiwis volunteering as medics and tradies and maritime people all on board. And we also helped upskill about 600 healthcare people during that time. So that was the first shot at it.
Wow.
Very first maiden field service. And so now we're on a roll, and we're back to our 10-month field services, and the Africa Mercy joining up again in January. So,
wow, so then there'll be 2 ships on the go. Absolutely fantastic.
And heaps of opportunities, you
you mentioned how many Kiwis are involved in this last deployment, as it were. I mean, Kiwis punching above their weight, as always. That's quite a percentage over the years. Again, so many New Zealanders, yes, health professionals, not exclusively health professionals, volunteered their time. They've been a part of changing lives through Mercy Ships.
Yeah, it's really true. And some people go for a few weeks. Anybody working in operating theatres, they go for maybe a few weeks or a month or so. Other people go for a few months, and then some people are there for years at a time. At the senior leadership roles. Our ophthalmic manager, for example, she went for a short-term field service recently, and Ella loved it so much she signed on for another 2 years to lead the department. So,
wow.
It's just fantastic to see New Zealanders determined to invest and make an eternal impact, really.
I mean, as you were indicating beforehand, yes, there's a lot of pressure on the health sector at the moment, both from a patient and a health professional point of view, but nothing compared to some of the pressures, particularly in West Africa, where Mercy Ships are focused. And honestly, I know a lot of people keen to sign up. A few years ago now, you were first involved. You got the bug, and basically, you've been involved with Mercy Ships for quite a few years now.
Yeah, most of my adult life, actually. So don't look at my grey hair. I went for a tour on one of the ships, and I thought, man, I want to be involved in something bigger than me.
Yeah.
And it absolutely captured my heart. And so, different ways. I've served over the years on 4 different ships.
Wow.
With our family, as a single person, as a young married couple, with our family, as an older couple without our kids, so it's been
So it's all
journey.
ages and stages,
Exactly.
a range of different skills that you can bring to that. And hey, if you can clean toilets, you can be part of the team at Mercy Ships.
Well, that's right.
We're going to meet a couple of Kiwis who are going to be heading over on the next deployment. That's going to be on the program next week. But in the meantime, Sharon, if people wanted to find out more, if they wanted to tap in, if they wanted to prayerfully consider being a part of the Mercy Ships team, either on board or as a part of the financial support crew or the prayer crew, what's the best way of doing that?
Well, yeah, absolutely. We need people to pray and to go and to give. And I wouldn't say that any one of those things, they're 3 pillars.
Important.
It's all important. And so, heading onto the website, mercyships.org.nz, and that will be where you find all the information you're looking for.
Lots of wonderful stories, lots of inspiring videos there as well. Mercyships.org.nz. Sharon, thank you for your mahi. Thank you for the work that you do with Mercy Ships. Thanks for joining us today.
Been a joy, thanks.